no level 2. Punk 1 crouching medium kick away with a level 3.
Oh!
No way! What is in the Orlando Ramen?
Nah. Yo, check the blood, man. We need a drug test.
Fast reactions are a core part of playing good neutral in fighting games. In the case of Street Fighter, players must focus on the ground to play footsies while watching out for jumps and trying to confirm their hits into combos if they connect. New players in the fighting game genre often feel overwhelmed by the many things they are expected to react to and will incorrectly conclude that they simply lack the raw reaction speed to play fighting games. In truth, reactions can be improved with good strategy and deliberate practice. One of the first things new Street Fighter players are encouraged to learn is to react to jumps with an anti-air. You cannot play strong neutral if your opponent is able to jump on you for free. But after playing the game for a while, you've probably noticed a common pitfall. While you can anti-air successfully every time in the training room or against the computer, when playing in real matches, you get a little too focused on the ground and your opponent jumps when you're not ready. This is because of tunnel vision. You were focused too much on the ground, and your opponent, sensing that, took advantage of your inability to control the airspace. The problem is not your reaction speed, but your focus. We use the term mental stack to describe the skill and process of prioritizing our focus in the fast-paced stress of a match. In fighting games, it is not practical or even possible to react to everything your opponent could do. Instead, you should look to focus on and react to what you expect your opponent might do. For example, in Street Fighter 6, a drive impact which is blocked in the middle of the screen is not very dangerous. But a drive impact blocked in the corner will break your guard and lead to big damage. Because of the difference in threat level, a shrewd player will allocate more focus to footsies when they are playing mid-screen, but shift their focus to watch for drive impact when their back is in the corner. The appearance of good reactions is often really a matter of a well-managed mental stack. Strong fighting game players reorder their mental stack based on things like risk-reward, the state of the match, and what their opponent has represented so far. Mental stack is improved over time with experience, but you can also intentionally work on your focus. When you are hit by a reactable option, instead of framing it as a failure to react, it's better to think about what you were focused on instead. The reason you got hit may be that your focus was misplaced. Ask yourself, was I focused on the right things? Next time you're in that situation, you can consciously allocate your focus. In this example, I have my opponent in the corner, and I am focused on keeping them there by anti-airing if they jump and whiff punishing any buttons they press. I am not ready to check the raw drive rush, and as a result, I get hit. In a subsequent round, in a similar situation, I am more aware to look for drive rush, and as a result, I successfully check it. Additionally, tracking your opponent's mental stack and focus is a good skill to cultivate. Thinking back to our earlier example, if your opponent's back is in the corner, you can likely anticipate that they will be watching out for drive impact. The threat of DI allows you to check their reactions to other things, which they may not be ready for. If you think your opponent is playing patiently, ready for a jump or a button, try doing something they don't expect to catch them off guard. Against opponents who have demonstrated they can react to your options, you can use feints and dive kicks to punish overzealous reactivity. In matches, try to watch how your opponent plays and anticipate what they might be scared of or looking for. If you can track their focus, you can exploit it. In this example, my back is to the corner, and it might seem intuitive for me to watch out for drive impact. However, I have represented acute focus in our game so far, and I suspect my opponent won't test my reactions with a DI. As a result, I decide to instead try to focus on using forward movement to surprise them. My opponent does not expect me to play in this way, and so I am rewarded with a whiff punish and can escape the corner. Muscle memory and reactions are matters of practice. Practice reacting often, and you will find that your reactions will become second nature. Nobody has good reactions at first, and the reactions you observe at higher levels of play are not beyond your ability. I cannot stress enough that you, listening to this video, are not uniquely incapable of keeping up with the pace of fighting games. It's hard for everyone at first. Have patience, and remember that building new neural pathways takes time and, importantly, sleep. Doing 10 or 15 minutes of reaction practice every day will yield better results than marathon sessions. I promise that with enough practice you can learn to react to things you previously could not. One of the things that makes fighting games something so great is that they can teach us a lot about our own psychology, how we measure self-improvement, how we fare under pressure, how we handle losses, and of course, our ability to focus on and juggle multiple things at the same time. Mental stack is a biophysical limitation, but it can also be understood as a psychological phenomenon. If you are upset about a previous interaction in a match and holding on to that disappointment, your mental stack will be partially consumed by those feelings and thoughts. Doubt may creep in and influence your decision-making. Fighting game players are humans, and part of the human experience is not being perfect. You will never be able to react to everything the way you wish you could, in fighting games or in life. Part of becoming a mature fighting game player, and a mature human, is the process of coming to accept that fact. In this respect, letting go is an important skill. Try to stay present in the moment, and be ready for the next interaction. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and make sure to check out the other videos in my Demystifying Neutral series. Thanks very much for watching.